everyone, I have chosen this picture here from Gabi Wolf's Minimania to colour today. Well, to start colouring today. I don't think we'll get through all of it. I just thought it was a really fun, cute design. Well, most of them are, aren't they, to be fair. So we have this sort of pile of boxes with the tree, lots of greenery, and obviously our cute little rabbits. So I picked Chromaflow pencils. I just picked something that I knew would work on this paper. This is I think it's Amazon paper. Oh, I don't know actually. I'm not sure. I think it is. But anyway, I picked the Chromaflow pencils and we're just going to make a start right away on the boxy bits. Now they look like they're made of wood from the way they're drawn, so that's the way we're going to colour them. So we're going to grab a brown and probably, just checking out my swatch sheet, yes, I'm going to use the nutshell, so Derwent Chromaflow nutshell. I'm going to come in a little bit closer. Obviously this is a big part of the picture, and what I'm going to do with this pencil is actually just colour all of the boxes just in a sort of fairly lightish, for me anyway, layer. I'm going to try and colour them in an up and down on these bits where we can see the wood grain has been drawn in a up and down vertical direction, and then we'll do this one this way because that's the way it's drawn. So it just if we leave any stripes in the colouring, then it will just all make sense. But this won't be the only colour I use, or I may layer up this colour a little more. I haven't quite decided yet, but this is just my sort of beginning, I suppose. And it might be that I decide to then colour all the other elements before I come back to finishing this bit off. It's possible that I'll do that just to see how it sort of all looks at the end. We'll just see how it goes really. Now here we have a lamp. Now in some people's colouring, they do magnificent things with lamps and lights, and will do sort of lit up bit here around where the light is coming out of the lamp. I have tried it, but I've never been successful at it. It's always looked very odd. If it's catching the side of something, so let's say the lamp was here, I could do it and make this side lighter than that side. But here, when you sort of put a circle round, I find it often just looks a bit rubbish when I do it. I've seen other people do it really well. What I need to do is examine what other people do and try and figure out what it is they do that I don't, that makes it look so much better. But today, I'm not going to do that. We're just going to go around it with the same amount of colour as the rest. Nope, I've gone over that little bit of mushroom there. Never mind. So it's today, the day before my boy's 20th birthday. I can't believe I've got 20-year-old boys, well, almost. And I think back to what I was doing on this day 20 years ago, and let me think, they were born in the morning. That's right. So I was taken into the hospital and induced, and probably on the 18th, I'm thinking. Yes, that's right, on the 18th of August, and they give me some sort of gel or something. I remember it being incredibly painful, and yeah, it says you gave me this gel, and then I got quite a lot of sort of tummy pain, like period pain type tummy pain, and my husband was around, went for a walk, did nothing. That night I was still being sore, and basically didn't sleep all night. I was really sore. I couldn't get comfortable. When I was at home, I found it hard to get comfortable as well. I had twins. I was big, it was quite hard to get comfortable lying down with a big bump. I'm just going to sharpen my pencil. So I used to often sleep sitting up, so I asked them if they could get me a rocking chair. There was a rocking chair on the other side of the ward, which I was the only person in there, so I asked the nurses if they would mind carrying this rocking chair across for me. Didn't really help me. It was very noisy. It was unfamiliar bed, all that thing. I didn't sleep. But anyway, and the nurses offered me some paracetamol. I was like, I haven't taken paracetamol for my whole pregnancy. I'm not going to start taking it now. So anyway, I just, managed. I don't know what I was doing, trying to sleep, or whether I was reading. I'm not sure. Days before mobile phones. I did have one, but it wasn't a smartphone. I don't know if I even had it with me, to be honest. Anyway. So we're doing an across horizontal colouring on this. But look at that ladybird. I've not spotted that before. So cute. Next morning, they said to me, we're going to put you on a drip to induce you. We need to get things going. But okay. So then I was on that all day, all through the night, and then had the boys the following morning. So this would have been probably, I would have just been starting off on the drip. And I had a TENS machine which I used, and I had a meditation track which I played continuously I had like an MP3 player, loads of batteries, and I just played this meditation track continuously the whole time. And it was designed specifically for birthing. I found it quite useful, very useful in fact. And but I think, how long was the labour? 18 hours? 16? I can't remember. And exactly. I remember saying to the midwife, is that long? She said, no, it's average. I was like, goodness. But there was a poor little girl who was in agony and screaming in pain before I'd even been started, I suppose. She was so young. Her mum was with her though the whole time. Well, her mum did go off and get coffee and that sort of thing. She would chat to my husband, and she had a baby after mine. And she had, I don't know if she had a TENS machine on, I can't remember. But she was wandering around on the ward. I couldn't do that because I was attached to a drip. I'd been put into a delivery room. So, but I remember her mum asking if she could have an epidural. I could hear them. No, I think she told my husband. And they said it was way too early and it would wear off by the time she really needed it. Oh, poor thing. But anyway, she got through it. I remember seeing her in town after with her baby. So that was good. She seemed happy. But it feels a very long time ago. So many birthdays since. I remember we used to do birthday parties and no one would come because it's in the middle of the school holiday. So telling people about when the party is was tricky. And I remember being a little bit cross that when my boys were at nursery, I took party invitations in on the last day for their friends, and I put them in their drawers. In their each child had a little drawer, and I didn't realise until right at the end of the day that the staff had already emptied their drawers and put it all into a bag for each child to take home. So the children didn't go into their drawers at all, so they were just left behind. So nobody got their invite. And some of the parents I was in touch with outside of playgroup, so I could ask them, but it meant that some of the kids they wanted to go never even got their invite. And at school as well, a lot of people didn't come because they'd forgotten or they didn't want to, I don't know, but it was quite sad. We even paid for a play soft play place, and one of the children never turned up, and we paid, and you still have to pay. So that was a bit, and a lot of ones we invited were on holiday and things like that. Oh. But anyway, I don't think they were that worried about it. They probably don't even remember it. But they used to end up going to quite a few birthday parties themselves, which I think they enjoyed. So that was horizontal. This one's vertical. But this year I haven't really done them anything too exciting. It's really hard, isn't it? Boys are hard to buy for once they are no longer interested in toys. And so I have, my one son wanted a little keyboardy thing, extension to his keyboard or something for his computer, so he's got that. My other son wanted some games, which he's already bought. I've given him the money already because they're on sale, so he's like, right, I'm getting them while they're on sale. So he did that. And so they've got that, they know what they're getting. I've got them a few little bits and pieces, but nothing much. I'm actually going to give them some more money, I think, because I didn't have the opportunity to buy as many little bits and pieces as I was going to. So I might just give them a bit more money. And my one son, he's paying for his driving lessons. Well, his grandfather's given him some money towards it, but he's got to pay for his train fares to get there and things like that. And my other son's earning, so he's getting money in. I feel a bit bad that one's earning and the other isn't. It's going to be reversed, I suppose, the year after next, when my one son's finishing uni and the other one is at work. So, but I don't know, I just feel like I want to help them out a bit more. But oh, talking about helping out, I remembered I wanted to let you know that I'm still remembering to give a little donation to charity each month as a percentage of my YouTube ad revenue. So if people watch the adverts on my YouTube channel, I get sent money. I'm just wondering where to go next. I think we'll leave that and do some greens. I really fancy doing some, could do the tree trunk actually. We'll do that. Where should we start? We'll start with the light colour. We'll start with the bourbon actually. It's not that light, but it's lighter than I want to go. And actually, you can't even see it. Let's bring it into close. There we go. So I've actually got my blind open today. I don't know if it's better or worse for you guys with regards to the colour of the and brightness of the, I think my camera tends to just adjust, but it's really dark today, so it means that although I've got my lamp on, was struggling to see properly, so I thought I'd open it, and the sun isn't shining. Anyway, where was I? Oh, charity, yes. So yes, when someone watches an advert on my YouTube video, I get some ad revenue, as they call it, you know, a little percentage. It's not a great deal, but it all adds up and helps. And obviously the more people that do it, the more I get, and I give a percentage of that to a local charity each month. It's something that I was waiting. I've told this story before, but I was sort of thinking I'd really like to be a big YouTuber so I could do this, and then I decided that I don't need to be a big YouTuber to do it. I can just do it in a small way, so that's what I'm doing. This is the natural brown. I'm going to use this to put in some shadows, like the underside of the branches, like that. So my first donation was to the local hospital. It's actually the county has a charity for the local hospitals in the county. Then my next one was for the food bank, which my members voted on. So that's the food bank is run so that people who are deemed to need the money, need the free food, get it. So you have to be sort of recommended to get it. You can't, it's just not for anybody. It's for those that really, really need it, according to, you know, their sort of assessors. I guess they're, I don't really know. Anyway, people who deal with benefits and things like that. I'm going to go really dark. I'm going to grab the licorice and just do a few really dark areas and then come back to with a lighter pencil to blend it together. So again, I want to do a little bit more on the, I've used the wrong sharpener then. I suppose it doesn't matter that much. Right, so licorice. And I'm going to overdo what I did before because it wasn't really very dark. So, yes, and so the next time I'd been speaking to someone in a shop and she volunteered for a particular place. I don't know if it's a charity as much as a group, but I donated to them. And what she does is she collects food from supermarkets and things like that who they can't sell it, so it's past its use by date slightly, or they've got no more shelf space for it because they're replacing it with new stock or whatever. So she collects all these things. They're usually the things with the reduced labels on that just haven't sold, and they make meals with the food. Some of it sometimes they do give away food, but I think the stuff that's sort of old, and you know, because it's things like vegetables, and you can obviously when you're cooking you can cut out the bits that aren't so good and still make quite a jolly good meal out of it. I'm going to go back to the bourbon and just make it all a bit darker because these areas are too light for my liking. And she was telling me about what they did, and basically you can go to the place. It's a community group, so the idea is that not only is it about helping people who can't afford to buy their own meals, because it's pay what you can, so you don't have to pay if you can't afford it, but also it's about bringing people together who might be lonely in a sort of community group. So there's that aspect to it as well. So so I gave to them, and then this month I've given to another group that does a really similar thing, but in a different part of the town. So and what they do is slightly different, because the other group just do meals about 3 times a week, I think. The group that I gave to, I'm going to do some leaves. I fancy doing some leaves. I want to start with the I'm going to start with the light olive. Oh, it's really short. Look at that. Really short. Light olive. And I'm going to do the base of each leaf with this darker colour, and then we'll put some lighter colour on the tip. Yeah, the other one varies because they still take donated food and things like that, but the chefs, they actually pay them. And they tell you how much each meal costs, and then you pay what you can afford. So you can either pay the full amount or more or less, you know. And the tables there are huge, like long bench tables, so everyone's encouraged to sit together and to chat. And they also put on little events and things. And in the same building they have a couple of sort of shops, I suppose. One is pre-loved children's clothes, so you can go and get cheaper, and toys as well. And then one is bikes. They sell cheap bikes where people have donated old bikes and they've done them up, and they get the kids, they get sort of teenagers helping with doing the bikes up, giving them a purpose. And then they do that to try and make cycling more accessible to everybody who might need it. And there's also a furniture place where any nearly new furniture can be donated, so you can go and buy new furniture. So it's quite a good, and they were actually at threat of being thrown out of their current building, which is an old mill, but fortunately someone came along who remained anonymous, a local person who paid them enough money so they could pay. Oh, the person who owned the place wanted to sell it, that's right, because their rent was low, you know, and things like that. But someone came along and either bought it or paid a huge sum of rent for them so that they could stay there anyway. So they've got a guaranteed place for a while, which is nice. And they've also set up one in another neighbouring town, although the money I donated was specifically for our town. I do like supporting very local projects, but also things that are small. I mean, that one does pay staff, but why not? It provides jobs in the area, you know. And what I find difficult is when there's a big charity and they pay lots of staff. And when you give some money, you think, how much of that is actually going to the cause? How much of that is paying the staff? You know, that sort of thing. So I prefer to support something small and local, and also helping out in the local community. Helping local people helps us all locally. Perhaps it's a little bit selfish, I don't know. But I just like to know that I can see where the money's gone, you know. This is foliage, and I know not everyone would agree with me on that, and that's absolutely fair. I can see other points of view as well, where, you know, our area isn't massively deprived. There are much more deprived areas that you could argue would deserve it more, you know. But on the other hand, everyone's got their story, you know. My son is singing so loudly upstairs. You know, even someone who isn't as badly off as someone else might suffer more as a result. You just don't know, do you? So I'm just trying to do my little bit, and it's nice to be able to do it. And as I say, the more people that watch the ads, the more I can give. So thank you to all of you that do that. Oh, if you're a premium, YouTube premium, that I count that as well, because I get a bit of that. I don't, goodness knows how much, not a lot. But YouTube always take their cut, of course. But you wouldn't expect them not to. They are a facilitator after all. You know, as much as people get annoyed at the big companies taking a lot of money, without them, where would we be? You know. So I don't begrudge that. They provide a service which enables us to be able to do this. So that's good. But I hope everyone is well out there in the world. Hello. Yeah, I hope you're managing to do some colouring with me, even if you haven't got this book. I know this is quite an old book, isn't it? I think she's up to number 8 or 9, is she? Something like that. But I was given this one, so this is the one that I've got, and I'm colouring, and it's a cute one. Oh, this morning I sorted out all my autumn books. I've been trying to think of some autumn ideas for you. I've got one coming up because interestingly the next planner page is the 1st of September. The 1st of September. I can barely say it. 1st of September. Anyway, we won't dither on that. So I was thinking it probably is time to think about autumn colouring, because I find if I don't do it quick enough, it's Halloween and then it's Christmas, and I sort of don't get enough time, and I do love autumnal colours. Right, I want to do a sort of really bright tip on these leaves. Just having a little look at my swatch chart. I think I'm going to do the pear. I've just noticed the sun's come out and it's shining across my page, but luckily not. Oh, it's there, look. Oh, there's always something, isn't there? Should I shut the blind? I don't know. Is that really blinding there? Is it really annoying to put something? I can't cover it over with anything. I could cover it over with something dark. Yeah, might be a bit less distracting. It's a Derwent Light Fast swatch leaflet from a pencil tin, just in case you're wondering what it was. In case you thought, I recognise that. Yeah. Just sitting, floating around on the desk, you know. I think I was actually using No, I was looking at it the other day because I've got the 72 set and there's 100, and I was having a look to see which ones I wanted. Didn't come to anything. I didn't order anything, so nowhere near Christmas. I was going to put, that's right, I was going to put a few on my wish list, but I couldn't find they don't sell them singly on Amazon, so I didn't in the end do that. But I can't believe the sun's come out. I was gonna go out this afternoon. I thought it would still be dull. It's gone back in now. I didn't really look at the forecast, to be honest, but I've got to go into town. I've got to drop some stuff at the charity shop. I managed to, I said to my husband this morning, I caught him in the right sort of mood, you know how it is with husbands. And I said, oh, there's an old mirror, shaving mirror in our bathroom cabinet. I said, what's that for? Can I take it? He said, oh yeah, you can take it to a charity shop. Yay, another thing. I'm still sorting. I'm still trying. It's not quite so easy now. I've done the sort of obvious things, if that makes sense. But by the time I put that in a bag, I have a whole bag full for them. So that's something. And that'll be a help, I'm sure. And yeah, nice to get rid of a few more bits and pieces there. I rather like that tree, but it is my favourite greens, so I'm sure that's nothing to do with my bias. Now, how long have we been going? 26 minutes. Yeah, I'm going to do a few more of the green, bits of green around the around the boxes. I'm going to shut the blind though, because it's going to go all dark and weird and it will readjust. There we go, because I need to come, let's put that booklet away. You need to be able to see a bit more. Oh, I've got hiccups. I do, excuse me. So we've got these ones coming out here, these tendril-like ones. I'm going to do those next. A bit squiff. No, okay. I'm going to use the jungle green. Bit of a favourite of mine. I do use it a lot. Jungle green. And I'm not sure if I want to use more than one colour on these, or whether I just want the one. I think I'll just use this one and see how it looks. Those little bunnies. On one of my previous ones, I made their clothes match. Oh, it wasn't bunnies, it's a pig picture. I think it might have been in Little Worlds, not this one. I can't remember now. Good memory. There we go. I've just finished a picture in Rita Berman's book, her water book. What's it called? Hidden Oceans, I think it's called, the English edition. And I used a colour palette from my book. Someone has said they bought that book and they'd used a palette for something. And I was like, yeah, I need a palette for this underwater scene. So I looked up water palettes in the back of the book. And it came up with this really lovely palette of sort of very pale turquoisey, aquas, blue greens, green blues, you know, a bit of one and the other, and sort of blue purpley blues as well. And I really enjoyed doing that. It was way out of my comfort zone to do a fish when you got blues, greens and purples and pale, you know, bluey purples, not like violety, bright violets, you know, like lavendery, lilac-y. It was lovely fun. I enjoyed that. I found the colour palette calming as well, which was nice. It's just pale. And yeah, these bits look like lettuce. Don't think they are though. I'm trying to think of a series to go in the mornings because you know we've had this really long small victories one going, but I like to have little things in the morning, so I'm going to over here to this one, but I'm not sure. There's a couple in Johanna's new book that I fancy, but I can't do those until, is it November it comes out? I kept thinking it was October, but she said it was November. But anyway, it means we get to do a bit of Halloween before the book comes out, I guess. And actually, I was thinking that in Tiny Year, all of Agatha Pop's Halloween pictures are in November. So I may have to do November a little bit early to get those Halloween ones, some Halloween ones out for you. So I was looking through my autumn book. I have got autumn books. I have got a couple of Halloweeny type pictures. So that'll be good. You know me. I'm not a big fan of Halloween, but I'm all right with colouring a pumpkin and that sort of thing, as long as it's cute. I don't want anything scary. But yeah, maybe my morning ones might be from Tiny Year. I'm not sure what comes up in September. I think there might have been, I'm not sure if there's pumpkins and things like that. I just can't remember now. Was that November? Oh, October. I don't know. I will have to have a look and see. But as I say, I do have one picture that I've got lined up, which is quite autumnal, but it's from, I'll tell you, it's from Hannah Carlson's Christmas book, and it's part of the collab with, what's she called? Jazzy Doodle Designs. She's doing a sort of, she's had this fabulous idea where people will do a page and then she sends it off to Hannah. Spring bud, this sort of lettuce. I think it looks really light. I'm going to make it dark in the middle and then sort of taper it off towards the edge like this. Can you see? Doing a bit less, and then we'll use a slightly lighter green, probably a yellowy green, to do the tips. Ooh, I'm assuming that's supposed to be that, not water. It looks like it could be water to me, but I'm assuming it's not supposed to be water. Now, I was going to make this video half an hour, but I realised that I've got to get this finished in the next video because it's planner after that. So I'm quite aware that I need to make it a little bit longer so that I feel like I'm sort of halfway. It's quite hard to judge, to be honest. It depends how much I fiddle with it. Am I in the mood for fiddling? That's a question. Talking of fiddling, it was so funny. My husband said to me, "Did you know that a fiddle was just another name for a violin?" And I was like, "Yeah." And my son said, "Well, it just sort of depends on the type of music you're playing as to what you call it." I don't know if that's right. I was like, "Yeah, I know they're the same instrument." He was like, "I had no idea." It's quite interesting when you learn things that you just had no clue about, though, isn't it? Yeah, I shall leave that and go for a sort of, we could go, I think the olive yellow is a little bit too, I think I used the key lime, it's a little bit less yellow, still green. What I'm going to do, I'm not going to colour it right in the middle, just over where I started to fade the green a bit. And just make it look, I think that looks cute. Maybe I will go over the middle actually, I think it helps it to blend in. There we go. Keep it easy. Oh, I haven't done those. We'll get there. Excuse me. Ah, there we go. My son's got a driving lesson later. When he goes out, I'm going to go out, I decided. I I suppose I'll have to go and shut some curtains as the sun's shining in. But I don't, it's only supposed to get up to 24 degrees, I think, today. It's not going to be silly hot. It's we've passed the silly hot heat wave now, and I'm just crossing my fingers that we won't get any more. Why did I get... Who knows? Getting distracted by thinking about sunshine and heat waves. And I'm hoping that's it. So many of my plants in my garden have died, and I just feel it's difficult. I'm not very green fingered anyway, so I'm like, well, it's possible they could have died anyway. I'm just going to use the spring bud to do those little teardrop shaped bits, just the bottom bit of them. But of course it could very easily be lack of water, but I always feel very guilty watering the garden when, you know, there's such a lack of water, and should we be wasting it by just pouring it into the soil, or for it to evaporate back off in the wind? I mean, I suppose it could be more wasteful. If I don't know, how could it be more wasteful? No, I don't think I'm talking nonsense. It couldn't be. It's very wasteful. So if I was growing vegetables, it might make sense, even though I still feel like it depends on your yield, really. It might be better water-wise to buy them from the supermarket or whatever. So I'm never sure. So I water them enough to stop them looking really droopy, but not too much. And the grasses that we bought all look like they're getting dead bits in them. Now these bits here I'm going to do next. Let's choose a different green. That's quite dark, isn't it? I am going to go for the olivine. Here it is. I'm going to use it quite gently because I don't want this really dark. And I'll put another colour on top after to burnish it. But there is a layer, and then I'm going to sharpen it and put in some details. Ooh, sorry. Right, so a little bit here, like we did on the other one. What I'm going to do is put a little bit in where there's overlap to give it a bit more texture, and then also a little bit at the bottom, like that. And then this one. So a bit of texture around here and here, and then at the bottom too. I think this one is the same. It's interesting that there are bushes growing and mushrooms growing on the box. I mean, it obviously gives you more to colour than just the plain box, but it does make me wonder how they're growing in the wood. There we go. Yeah, when we were walking along the canal yesterday, my husband was noticing this one particular plant. I can't remember what he said it was called, and he said it's a nightmare. He says there's so many seeds, it just spreads everywhere. I said, I think the blossom smells really pretty. He said, no, it doesn't. I think because he's had to, having been a gardener and had to dig it out of places, he doesn't find it endearing. This is the olive yellow. It's very bright, but I think it's really going to brighten up these little patches that are quite dark at the moment. I'm going to just put it over everything, and it will show through, the darker bits will show through. It just look nice and bright. and cheery. But I think a lot of plants seed easily if you let them, like dandelions, which I haven't seen any of, interestingly. Maybe it's a bit early. I'm not sure. I haven't seen any. Gardeners really dislike them in their lawn full of yellow dandelions. But then some hate daisies too. I love them. Right, now we have a few tufts of leaves, these and these and these. Also have some down here. I might do those the same as well. So what are we going to use? We could go to the more bluey greens. I think that might work. So I'm going to use a tropical rain first for the base. We're going to mix it up a bit, have a couple of colours. Might just, there we go. So here is the tropical rain, and we'll start here, and we'll just put it down at the bottom and just tail it off like that. There we go. I think this might be my last bit for today, but it's really hard to know when to stop when I think I've done the half. So I'll have a think and a look. Because we've got, the thing is, I've got the detail bits left which can take a bit longer. Because this is easy because it's the same colour over and over. It makes it a bit simpler. That's what Johanna was saying about when she was flipping through her book, saying I'd do all those of that colour first and then all those of that colour together. Did you see her flip through? I just get more excited about hers than anybody else's. I want to do this bit down here. I'm just trying to work it out, really. Yeah, I think because she was the first. Really? I'm sure she was the first. I know that some people colouring books before Johanna released her first one, but they probably coloured like children's books. I don't think there was adult colouring was a thing. She sort of invented it, didn't she? And thank goodness she did. How grateful are we? There we go. Yeah, the other ones down here look more like long grasses, and these look very different. So I'm not going to do those, but I'm going to use the mint leaf to finish these off. So we're going a little bit more blue-greeny. Just going to sharpen it. It's a bit blunt. There. Yeah, that works, I think. Little toadstools. I did do a video from one of Gabi Wolf's books, I can't remember which one, showing you different ways to colour toadstools. I'm probably going to go along the red route. I think red is a good colour. I don't think there are that many in Johanna's new book, but that's okay. I've got plenty in Hannah's books to keep me going. I'm wondering if she's going to do another flip through today, because she did her wall planner, month review calendar on Sunday, and then she did Wonderful Wildflowers. So I'm wondering if she's going to do her affirmation cards. I really want to see them. I'm more excited about them than any upcoming book, to be honest. They're just so much my cup of tea, so much my thing. I just, yeah, really excited. I'm very much into positive thinking. You know, I don't tend to pin affirmations up on my wall, but maybe I will. You know, I think sometimes it's good as long as you read them. It could be really good. Really good. There we go. We're almost there. Wondering what colour I'm going to do the grass. I haven't used the grass green yet, so maybe that would be the obvious choice. But I am going to stop there. I'm pretty sure I'm about halfway. Very difficult to know for sure, but I think I probably am. So I am going to stop. I just don't know. So let's just take a little photo. There we go. So thank you for watching today. Hopefully you can come back tomorrow and watch the end. It might be quite short, it might be quite long, it might be about the same length. Who knows? You have to wait and see. Come along and find out. But thank you so much. Have a super day. Please remember to hit that like button and subscribe if you haven't. Really appreciate it. Have a super day and happy colouring.